Hey guys, I got to my campsite tonight just in time to get my awning out so that I could get set and make some dinner. I've been working on another project and I didn't have time to make a gourmet meal tonight. So for tonight's menu, I'm gonna make something pretty simple, but it's still something that I think is super tasty. And if you haven't figured it out yet, this is a perfect poor man's meal. Just some ramens, and I have another ingredient that you guys are gonna love. So the second course on my meal is some better cheddar sausages. I like to put a lot of water in my ramens because then it gives me some fluids as well. This butane stove isn't my favorite stove because it takes a lot longer to cook food, but it does get the job done. And I don't really want to cook with the shore power because I don't want to expose myself to electric shock while it's raining. Do you break up your noodles or do you eat them whole? That's like a question that I always wonder when I eat my ramens. I like to break them up, that way I have a little bit to deal with, but some folks like to have those really long strings of noodles that they can just slurp up. Got to get my salts in, right? I'm sure this is super healthy. Probably one of the healthiest meals you can eat while you're camping. And I didn't grab my spoon. Let me grab my spoon before this stuff overflows. To me, there's something perfect about camping in the rain and hearing the raindrops hit my roof. That sound of the raindrops tends to give me the best sleep that I ever get. So I'm glad I made it out tonight, and I couldn't have asked for better weather to do minivan camping. But actually, I can see over on the horizon there that this little storm is gonna pass by pretty quickly here. So I don't know if I'll have that nice pitter patter that I want when I'm sleeping, but it's so relieving. Check out this water bubble. Looks like my ramens are done. The first thing I like to do when I'm finished cooking is get this can out. This can's already dropped some temperature because it's been expelling gas, and I like to keep it away from this stove. I never ever transport this can inside of the stove because occasionally I've heard these cans leaking if it's not in there correctly, and it's just a fire hazard that I don't want to deal with. When you're cooking with a stove like that, when you get done, make sure you give it plenty of time to cool off before you pack it away. I probably could have used both bags of ramens, but one's enough for now, and if it ends up not being enough, I can always make the second one later. In fact, there's a lot of calories in this meal, and it's not necessarily the healthiest thing that I could do, but I like the flavor of ramens, and I also like the flavor of these better cheddars. So it stopped raining for a minute, and I think it may not rain much more tonight, but it's supposed to go between raining and high winds. So I'm getting some gusts of wind, and I have my awning set up. The highest winds are supposed to be about 60 miles per hour tonight. So I guess we'll see if the awning is still there in the morning. I'm also not convinced that it's a good idea to camp under this tree with this giant branch. But I suppose if that branch breaks off, it won't do too much damage to my van. I also have shore power set up tonight, so I've got plenty of electricity. I can hang out and enjoy some of the modern amenities in my minivan camper. And another good thing about all this dust and rain is that it's going to clean off the van a little bit. The van has been getting a little dirty, but it's looking pretty good with the sheen from the rain on it. And don't forget, if this isn't your first time here, be sure to click that subscribe button. And if it's not your first time and you've seen a video before, click subscribe anyway. My goal is to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of the summer, and I want to thank you already for helping me reach that goal. I've been flapping my gums for too long, so let me get my meal finished. It's already almost cold. Not bad. The best part about cooking ramens is it doesn't leave a huge mess in my pot because the ramens don't really stick to the pot, and then it's easy to rinse it out. Some of those other meals that I make leave a pretty big mess behind, and it's hard to clean unless you go down to the faucet over there. I'm glad I went with something quick and easy like those ramens tonight, and the 1 bag of ramens and the 2 better cheddar sausages were perfect to fill me up. The winds have died down quite a bit. There still are some winds, but I'm not sure how bad it's going to be. The forecast says that there's supposed to be storms for the rest of the night, and it's supposed to storm for the rest of the week as well. So I've been camping a lot more over the last few weeks, and I feel like I have the minivan camper pretty much set for my summer trip. The only thing that I think I might change out, so currently I have the EcoFlow Glacier mini fridge. I have this EcoFlow Wave HVAC system, which I have on heat right now, just to keep the air dry inside of the minivan. And then I also have the EcoFlow River 2 Pro under my bed. The River 2 Pro is a great power station for low power usage, but I'll probably replace that for one of my larger 2000 watt hour power stations, just so that I know that I have plenty of power for days like this when I don't have solar power. I am hooked up to shore power right now, and I have everything plugged in so it's charging nicely, but when I do my big trip this summer, I may not have access to shore power as much as I hope. That air conditioner will have limited use because it uses a lot of power, even with this extra battery. And then that EcoFlow River 2 Pro is just a little small for the kinds of power that I'm going to be consuming. And after saying all of that, when I'm hooked up to shore power, that air conditioner, this mini fridge, pretty much gives me all the amenities of a home that you would want while out camping like this. And it really is a beautiful place to be and a great experience when I come out here camping in my minivan. There is some rain pulling up right here, so I'm going to try to angle this side down just so that the rain will run off. That way I'm not worried about this thing collapsing in the middle of the night. Perfect. And you can see just the little square under there where the water hasn't kind of soaked up the pavement, right where the awning's been. I would say the rain really doesn't come in past that point, and that water has just soaked in from the pavement from the edges. My only regret picking this awning is that I didn't go straight with the 8-footer. This one is a 6.5 foot long, 6.5 foot wide Yakima Slim Shady, but the 8-foot one would fit as well on the minivan camper and give me just a little bit more space all the way around. It doesn't sound like a lot, but I would be going from the 6.5 foot Slim Shady gives me about 42 square feet of protection, but that 8-foot one will give you about 64 feet of protection. So the 8-foot one is like a third larger, and I don't think the prices are that much different between the bigger one and the smaller one. Since the wind has died down, the bugs are starting to come out. I haven't seen any mosquitoes, but I have seen quite a few gnats floating around. So I'm gonna get my curtains up in my van. That way I can shut my door and get ready to go to sleep in a little bit. It's already after 8 o'clock, and you know, I like to go to bed by 10 o'clock at night. There it is, everything's set up for the night. So I'm gonna read my book, hang out, relax, and get ready for bed. And I've said this before, but these Goal Zero lights have worked for almost 5 years without any problems. All I do, they have a little solar panel on top, is I hang them in my window when I'm driving around and they recharge. I have not had to plug them in several years. If these things do go bad, I'm gonna end up buying some more. My only gripe is that when I'm trying to use these for video making, it's just barely enough light to get the scene lit up. I really wish I could illuminate this van like an office, but it's really just hard to do unless I do something with the roof. And I mentioned in a recent video that I was thinking about taking this front passenger seat out, but then I realized that when I am in stealth mode, if that seat is missing and I have something in there like shelving, this thing will no longer be stealth. So that chair is gonna stay and something else is probably gonna go. One of my goals when I'm stealth camping is to be as normal as possible with the vehicle. There are a lot of commenters that say like, hey, it doesn't matter, camp wherever you want. But some of the places that I go aren't necessarily friendly to camping in your minivan. So I prefer to try to maintain as low of a profile as possible. And having that front compartment isolated from the sleeping area keeps a lot of unwanted attention off of my minivan. So it's been another beautiful day out here at the campground, and got to sleep with my cheetah print camo pillow to make sure I stay comfortable throughout the night. The temperature is pretty much perfect to sleep in the minivan. I've got this air conditioner and I probably will end up turning it off because I'm just right at that perfect temperature right now. I haven't heard any wind or any rain for a couple of hours, but I just checked the forecast and they say that it's going to start storming again probably around midnight. If it storms enough to wake me up, I'll check it out because I love hearing the sound of that rain on my roof. With every perfect night in the van comes another chance to put all my stuff away and get set up so I can go on another adventure in the next few weeks. It didn't rain as much as I thought it would last night. After that little rainstorm that we had when I first got here, that was pretty much it. In fact, if you look at the ground, it's pretty much already dry all around me. But either way, I still had a great time sleeping in the minivan camper. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe. It would mean a lot to me, and I'll see you on my next adventure.